In this video, I'm going to go through the monthly accounting cycle and who says money doesn't grow on trees. So let me lead you on the monthly bookkeeping path. Enjoy this video. You will learn what bookkeepers do on a monthly basis. The role of the bookkeeper is to record the transactions of the business. Transactions occur on a daily basis. I will show you some examples of transactions in this video. These transactions are recorded on source documents. The source documents are used to record the transactions in journals. In my videos, I go through all the transactions, all source documents, and all the journals. You just need to do a search for whatever you're looking for on my website. Once the journals have been completed, at the end of the month, the information is taken to the general ledger. Then on a daily basis, transactions are recorded in the debtors ledger and the creditors ledger. And at the end of the month, reconciliations are done. I'm sure you're familiar with a bank reconciliation, a creditors reconciliation, and a debtors reconciliation. So all this activity is happening on a monthly basis. This is the bookkeeping cycle. And then a trial balance is drawn up at the end of each month. It's known as a pre-adjusted trial balance. Then at year end, information is recorded where we determine the financial result and the financial position of the business. Adjustments are done, final accounts, closing transfers, then financial statements are drawn up. Then you can do a little bit of analysis and interpretation. But the purpose of this video is to demonstrate or illustrate what the bookkeeper does on a monthly basis. So if you look at the blocks in the light green, I will go through them briefly as we go along in this video. But this is what happens on a monthly basis in any sole proprietor. Transactions take place. These transactions are recorded on documents. The documents are used to record the information in journals, and there's 8 journals. The journals are posted to the ledgers, the general ledger, the debtors ledger, and the creditors ledger. The general ledger is done on a monthly basis. In the debtors and creditors ledger, the accounts in those 2 ledgers, the transactions are posted on a daily basis. So we keep running balances of what debtors owe us, accounts receivable, and what we owe creditors, accounts payable. Then we need to do reconciliations at the end of the month and draw up a pre-adjusted trial balance or draw up a trial balance. That's what happens on a monthly basis. In my videos, you will learn how to do every single item listed here in these light green blocks. I thought I'd show you every step of the way. So transactions take place on a daily basis. Examples are capital contribution, the owner puts money into the business, cash purchases, cash transactions, credit purchases, cash sales, credit sales. Those are examples of transactions. And if you work through my videos, I take the transactions of Calibu Education for a month and I record them. I document all the transactions, I record all the transactions, and I do them in the books of Calibu Education. The whole monthly accounting or bookkeeping cycle, I demonstrate taking transactions right up to a trial balance, what happens on a monthly basis. But the first step is obviously transactions need to take place, and here are a whole host or a whole lot of examples of transactions that take place on a monthly basis. If you work through my videos, I work through all the common transactions which take place in a sole proprietor. The transactions on this monthly path get recorded on documents, and I illustrate documents, receipts, invoice, debit notes and credit notes, statements. Here's an example of an invoice and what the South African Revenue Services require on an invoice for it to be a valid document. There's an example of a deposit slip, and there's a cash tax invoice and a receipt, a proof of payment. So all these transactions that take place on a daily basis all get documented. You may have heard of that term, the paper trail. All these transactions get documented, even if it might be these days a digital copy. Every transaction gets documented. The documents are then used to record the information in journals, and the journals, the information gets recorded on a daily basis, and the journals are then posted to the general ledger, the debtors ledger and the creditors ledger. But here are journals. Remember, I have a video on each journal. This is an example here of a cash book receipts journal of Calibu Education. I'm going to take you, or I do take you in this video on a cash receipts journal, from a seedling to a fully grown plant. Your knowledge of the cash book receipts and all the other journals will flower. That's how well you will know these journals if you go and watch the videos. And in each video I actually go and post the totals to the ledgers. The purpose of a journal is to take the load off the ledger. And in each video I take the information to accounts in the general ledger, and hopefully I don't put you to sleep like little Caleb. He's fallen asleep here. So the journals are drawn up and the information is taken to the general ledger. As I mentioned, the information is taken from the journals to the general ledger on a monthly basis, and to the debtors and creditors ledger on a daily basis. There's just a pretty example of a general ledger. These pictures were taken by myself. I've grown cosmos, and that there's a caterpillar that was eating the cosmos. But this here is a general ledger, and there are a few accounts: sales, cost of sales, interest on current account. I'm just showing you briefly what the general ledger looks like. Then I will demonstrate a debtors ledger, and here I'm looking at, we have the school, we sell to them on credit, and these are the transactions which relate to the school for the month of February, and that information is taken on a daily basis to the debtors ledger, and this is the account of the school. The purpose of this video is just to demonstrate the bookkeeping cycle. So I'm not going into the details of drawing up these individual accounts. I'm just showing you an example of a debtors ledger and also a creditors ledger. We buy from the computer store on credit, and that information is taken on a daily basis to the creditors ledgers. So here, examples of a general ledger, a debtors ledger, and a creditors ledger. Then at the end of the month, what happens is reconciliations are done. The most common one, well, creditors reconciliation as well, but a bank reconciliation is done at the end of the month to find the differences between the balance in our books and the balance at the institution that we bank with. Let me show you. So say, for example, in our books we have a balance of 150,622, but we bank with the bank, Calibu Education banks with the bank, and they send us a statement, and the balance is 447,173. Now you can see there is a big difference between what's in our books and the balance in the bank's books. So what we do is we do a reconciliation to find the differences, why these two amounts are not equal. But I'll do a whole video on a reconciliation. And it's the same with the creditors reconciliation. We receive a statement from our creditors, our suppliers, and we check those balances on the statements that we receive with the balances in our books, and we find the differences. There are a whole lot of reasons why there could be differences in our books and the books of the bank and creditors, but that's for a separate video. Then there's also a debtors reconciliation. We check the control account in the general ledger against the debtors ledger balances, the debtors list, but I will do separate videos on the reconciliation. But part of the bookkeeper's monthly cycle is at the end of the month doing reconciliations. After these reconciliations, it's time to draw up a trial balance, and all the totals of the general ledger accounts after they have been balanced are listed in a trial balance. And here we have a statement of financial position, balance sheet accounts, and there's also a nominal account section where we look at the income and expense accounts. Just so this fits in onto the page, I've put the balance sheet accounts and the income statement accounts next to each other, but this would normally be one document, the trial balance, where we have all the balance sheet accounts and all the nominal section accounts, income and expenses on one document. You can see there's a column for debit and credit, and hopefully your debits equal your credits. But like I've mentioned in other videos, that doesn't mean that the trial balance is correct, because there are a number of reasons why, even though this balances, it might not be correct. But for the purpose of this video, this is a trial balance, and it's done on a monthly basis, and they're all pre-adjusted trial balances until after the 12 months we are looking at your financial year. We do year-end procedures, adjustments, and then we'll get a post-adjusted trial balance. But every trial balance that is drawn up on a monthly basis during the financial year is a pre-adjusted trial balance, or just a trial balance, where we check our debits equal our credits. To summarize this video, I've just put the monthly, yearly accounting cycle back up. So on a monthly basis, even on a daily basis, transactions take place. These transactions are recorded on source documents. The source documents are used to record the transactions in journals. From the journals, the information is taken to the general ledger on a monthly basis, and to the debtors and creditors ledger on a daily basis. At the end of the month, reconciliations are done, and after the reconciliations have been done, a trial balance is drawn up. Now the bookkeeper is responsible for recording all this information up until trial balance. Now this happens every single month, and at the end of the financial year, in these dark green blocks, this is what takes place. Adjustments, then you're going to get after adjustments trial balance. Final accounts are drawn up, trading profit and loss, closing transfers are done, and then you get a post-closing trial balance, which would only include the balance sheet accounts. Financial statements are drawn up, and then you're going to analyze and interpret what's happened after the financial year. But in the light green blocks, that's what I've concentrated on in all my videos to date. Soon, in the next couple of weeks or few weeks, I will be doing year-end procedures. But at the moment, I've done bookkeeping until trial balance. Please check out my videos. They are thorough. You will get a complete understanding of what happens in a sole proprietor on a monthly basis. You can visit my site, Calibu Education. You might have seen a QR code during this video. If you scan it, it will take you to all the videos on what the bookkeeper does on a monthly basis, and I use Calibu Education as an example. I hope you enjoyed that video, and there you can see my family are following me on the bookkeeping path, and hopefully Caleb is going to know everything about bookkeeping as he grows up. It is extremely important that each individual has a basic knowledge of accounting. That's why I'm making these videos. I hope you enjoyed that video, and have a great day.